Again, my name's Gordon Bagby. I work at the District Court over on Roosevelt Road, not far from here at all. Today we got 3 different topics that we're going to cover with you all. I'm going to show you a couple of short clips about the drug epidemic that's going on in this country and has for decades, but nowadays it's gotten even worse. The drug cartels down in Mexico are getting a very powerful drug from China, and it's called fentanyl, and they're mixing it into everything nowadays. They started off mixing it in heroin because it has the same effect on the body that heroin does. Heroin is an opioid drug that numbs the body. They don't feel pain or anything. But fentanyl is like 50 times stronger than heroin, much more powerful. Only 2 milligrams of fentanyl will kill somebody, and it can be absorbed 3 different ways. The first video that I'm going to show you, the narrator will mention the 3 ways that it can get in the body and kill someone. 2 milligrams is all it takes. That's a metric weight, so I've done a conversion on that. If we put it into ounces, 1 ounce of fentanyl would kill 14,000 people. Less than a pound of it, 14 ounces of it, would kill every person in the city of Little Rock. And it's pouring over the border because this administration is not enforcing the border laws, and it's out there on the streets. I see court dockets every day. I was in court yesterday afternoon doing a recording, and we have several charges every day in court, and fentanyl is listed as a drug that a person was arrested for. So it's out there, and you've got to expect it to be in everything. They're even nowadays putting it in pills to attract kids. They're targeting you all, and even all the way down into elementary school. So I'm going to show you a couple of clips on this before we turn it to our next speaker.
Pain, and is usually prescribed to advanced stage cancer patients. It can be 100 times more powerful than morphine. This photo shows the amount of heroin that can cause an overdose and the amount of fentanyl that can cause the same effect. An illegal version of the synthetic drug has been popping up all over the U.S., and according to the Centers for Disease Control, has been reported the most in Ohio, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. But it's not just a danger to people who use the illegal drug. It's also posing a threat to law enforcement agents trying to get the drug off the streets. This Ohio police officer was collecting evidence from a car when he came into contact with the white powder. He needed 4 doses of Narcan to be revived. Listen to what it felt like for these 2 New Jersey police officers when they were overcome by the drug during an evidence collection.
I felt like my body was shutting down. People around me said that I looked really white, and I lost color, and it just really felt like, oh, that was it. I thought I was dying.
Couldn't breathe. Very disoriented.
The Drug Enforcement Administration is warning officers around the country to handle fentanyl with extreme caution, because whether it's ingested, inhaled, or absorbed through the skin, as little as 2 milligrams of the drug can be lethal.
Fentanyl can kill you.
This is Inside Edition in depth.
Towards the end, the narrator mentioned there are 3 different ways that fentanyl kill someone, who can tell me one of the ways that it would, okay?
Skin absorption.
Okay, absorbing through the skin. Just getting a little bit of that stuff on your skin can kill you. When they enlarged the penny, did you notice that was not even enough grains of that to equal what Lincoln's beard it was on a penny? And y'all are familiar with that, so you see a penny next time, look at that very carefully. Okay, so absorption is one way. What is another way? Okay, she said consumption, but internally. That's either orally by mouth or injection through a needle. Okay, one final way. Okay, inhalation, just breathing the stuff in. And the police officers that were talking, I've got a longer clip that I'll show you, and they're talking about how that's what happened to them. So this stuff is deadly, and they're putting it into everything. Okay, I'm going to show you the longer clip here, and in this you'll see drug cartels actually mixing this stuff up, and I want you to look at the bodysuit that they're wearing with the air pack. They'll also show this with the DEA agents. They have to dress like that whenever they go into a lab because of how deadly this stuff is.
We take you inside the battle against a deadly narcotic, a synthetic painkiller 100 times more powerful than morphine. As a street drug, it's far more potent than even the purest forms of heroin. Fentanyl is taking the opioid epidemic to a new level of urgency, especially in New Hampshire, where the monster drug kills far more people than gun violence. So what's the DEA doing to stop it from spreading? ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas reports from the front lines.
Lubbock, Texas, covered head to toe using oxygen tanks to breathe. You would think these officers are about to come in contact with a deadly disease, but this is an alleged illegal drug land.
Us just being here next door and just regular stuff like that, we could have been exposed.
Inside, officers are searching for something so lethal and toxic, law enforcement can't afford to take any chances. All of this because they're about to come in contact with fentanyl, a synthetic opioid often mixed with heroin, but up to 40 times more powerful, leaving a deadly trail across the country.
This heroin overdose is one of more than 80 in just 3 days around the tri-state.
As heroin sweeps across the nation, fentanyl is making it even more dangerous. And now users are taking it in bootleg pill form, mixed with God knows what. In 2015, the number of opioid deaths surpassed 30,000, due in part by the surge in fentanyl overdoses, far outpacing deaths by gun-related homicides. So toxic that the DEA recently sent out a warning to police around the country with this chilling story.
Grabbed the bag and I closed it up, forced the air out of it so I get a good seal. And when I did that, a bunch of it poofed up into the air, right into our face. We ended up inhaling.
I felt like your body was shutting down.
You actually felt like you were dying.
And you have to be that careful everywhere. I went to a law enforcement laboratory in New Hampshire to see how they're battling the deadly drug.
This would be an example of heroin, a lethal dose of a typical batch of heroin. And then this vial would be the typical dose of fentanyl. What we correct.
The air quality is not a level that you can breathe inside these fentanyl mills. We're forced to wear air packs and masks to breathe fresh air while we're in these mills, these fentanyl mills. Yes, oxygen tanks.
You suit up to get a sense of what the agents are going through.
So you're gonna step into it, you think we fair chance?
Got it?
Deep breath.
Suits are so difficult and exhausting to maneuver in, agents can only wear them for 15 minutes at a time. Fentanyl nearly killed 21-year-old Morgan Gilman, who said she was looking for a stronger high after more than a year on heroin.
I picked up a large amount of fentanyl and then did what I normally do. And then on my drive home, I was doing about 80 on the highway when I OD'd at the wheel.
She crashed waking up handcuffed to a hospital bed. Did that make you want to get out the drug, or did you still have a desire?
I was so afraid of detoxing.
Morgan lives at ground zero for the fentanyl epidemic, the tiny state of New Hampshire. It's a safe state. There are typically fewer than 20 homicides a year, but there were more than 400 overdose deaths in 2015. Around 70% of those were fentanyl related. State officials say they expect overdose deaths in 2016 to come close to 500 once all the data is in. Again, overwhelmingly fentanyl related.
I've been involved in the forensic field here in New Hampshire for 27 years, and I looked through the crack epidemics and the methamphetamine. We never had deaths associated with it like we do now.
The #2 ranking official at the DEA says he's never seen anything like it.
Anything can be likened to a weapon of mass destruction, and what it does to a community, it's fentanyl.
This synthetic opioid is cheaper and easier to produce than heroin. Gold mine for the cartels.
What you're seeing is some very sophisticated criminal organizations. They understand the addiction issue is present here, and they're doing everything they can to control the market.
Yet another case of Mexican cartels influencing what's happening here in the stateside?
Absolutely. I mean, I think people on the West Coast in Silicon Valley are working on a new iPhone. I think the Sinaloa cartel is working on the next product they're going to market to the addiction base in the United States. And I got to tell you, across the country, they don't care who dies.
It's now being distributed throughout the country, coming not just from Mexico, but also China, spread to secret locations, warehouses, apartment complexes, and homes. Drug dealers sometimes using something as simple as a blender to mix it. It's like Russian roulette when it hits the streets. Too much fentanyl gets mixed in, people die. Authorities are now trying to target the sellers, believed to be the merchants of death.
So we're gonna breach at the same time, whoever sees them first, just to be cognizant.
5 a.m. and the DEA has teamed up with local police to take down a suspected dealer.
That's the dealer. Put his hands up.
The suspect is apprehended. Next, agents search his house.
So the search is still underway, but they've already found what they believe is some product?
It is. This is what was located inside the residence. What we have here is just a finger of suspected fentanyl with maybe some heroin, but definitely fentanyl. This is sort of broken up finger, you can tell.
Yeah. Later that day, 2 more arrests.
Is that the guy? Yeah.
Both accused of selling a heroin fentanyl combo that killed diffusers.
So there's 2 people in the span of an hour, less than a couple miles apart.
Across the country, the arrests are just one weapon in the war on drugs.
How much heroin did you use?
Some police have started releasing photos of addicted parents passing out in their cars, their toddlers strapped in their car seats, hoping to shame them.
The women unable to move or speak in an apparent heroin overdose.
But in Manchester, some measures also include compassionate, non-punitive approaches. There, firehouses have become places of refuge for users.
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there because the end of it is kind of irrelevant, but you see how dangerous that stuff is and how even the dealers are protecting themselves from it. But they don't care how many people it kills. They just want their drugs to be so powerful, people can't stop using them. That's what we're faced against. By the way, most people never use an illegal drug, but those who do end up clogging up the court system and the medical system due to all these overdoses. Anybody who ever gets you to try to take anything is not your friend. I'm going to show you a picture here of how now they're putting it in pills disguised as drugs or candy that they're targeting towards you all. This photo just came out from the Drug Enforcement Agency. This is known as rainbow fentanyl. It's in multicolored pills, and you never know what's in it. Don't ever put anything in your mouth that you don't know exactly where it came from a sealed package at the store. If somebody's just handing you something, you never know what's in it, and if it could kill you or not. So don't trust anyone with your life. All right, one more clip. there's a big misconception, especially amongst teenagers, that marijuana is harmless and safe. It is not. And nowadays, oftentimes it's laced with fentanyl.
The Drug Enforcement Administration confirmed to 12 News today, oftentimes deadly synthetic fentanyl is showing up in marijuana, threatening the lives of users.
You're talking about probably people who are not experienced and not built up a tolerance to opioids being introduced to fentanyl, a very powerful opioid, and it can immediately be lights out.
And the DEA says just 2 milligrams of fentanyl, represented by salt here, is enough to kill most people if found in marijuana. The DEA says drug traffickers use fentanyl to make their product more competitive, a better high.
Just simply lace the powder amongst the marijuana and mix it up in a real gross, non-pharmaceutical way, or perhaps put the fentanyl into a liquid solution with water or another liquid substance, and then apply it to the marijuana that way.
So it's showing up even in pot, which is not safe by itself, but now you have to expect this stuff to be in everything. So somebody can smoke or even just touch a joint and die from this stuff. Or you even have to be the one using it. You could just be around someone who's smoking a joint, and if it's laced with fentanyl, there could be enough in it that you could inhale the smoke secondhand and die from the fentanyl in it. Drugs are not your friends, all right? Okay, I'm gonna get ready for our next speaker, and I think she just took a break, but she'll be right back. And her name is Mrs. Hall, and she works for the Underground Railroad Network, which is a local nonprofit that serves to benefit some especially women and young girls who have been abused in some sort of way. So when she gets here, she can talk a little bit about that as she comes across the floor. And listen up, because some of you may have family members or yourself who might benefit from what she does in her work.
Hello, y'all. How y'all doing? Good. Don't look so bored. How many of y'all have heard of fentanyl being out there? Oh, okay. Just one person?
I heard of it. We just heard of it.
Outside of this, though. Yeah. So y'all know what's out there right now. Okay. That was something when I was young. We didn't have to. We didn't. I'm sorry, y'all. We didn't have to deal with, because it just wasn't on the street like that back then. So now you got to worry about if you're smoking weed with your friends or something, not knowing what's inside the weed. Back then, you may have to worry about I don't know, other things in there, but it wasn't as deadly as fentanyl is. I'm gonna stand back. I was just trying to get my thing ready. But okay, so my name is Jennifer Hall, and I work for an organization called the Turn Project. We deal with victim services, which means that we go out in the community. Whenever y'all hear about like violence in the community and stuff, we go out there and offer resources. It could be helping somebody find a place to stay that's homeless. It could be even teenagers, like people y'all age, will call and they need a place to stay. Or it could be that a family member has lost a loved one to murder, and we help them fill out paperwork to get money to help bury them. Or we may take an assault victim some clothes or something like that at the hospital. So just whatever is needed in the community when it comes to being a victim or getting services to help them. So that's part of my job. The other part is to come out to schools like this and talk to y'all. And I talked to not only high schools, like yesterday I was in Pine Bluff talking to, I was out there with community leaders, but also coming to colleges and stuff like that, or churches, or wherever it's needed to talk about violence in the community. So, how many of y'all have seen violence in the community that you live in? It's just me? Okay. Not firsthand, not like you was out there, but like you heard about it. Okay. Yeah, me too. So we know that that's something that's going on in our communities. It's something that's going on in the world. What's something that's going on in the world right now that's real violent? Internationally.
Global warming.
Global warming is violent. That's a different kind of violence.
Gun violence.
Gun violence, that's big in the world. It's predominantly in the U.S. But what's something outside the U.S. that's going on that's violent? The war in Ukraine. So we see violence on a global level. We see it on a national level with gun violence. Arkansas is ranking pretty high right now in terms of violence, and especially violence against women. Not that there's not violence against young men, but in Arkansas, the violence against young women is, I think we're like number 4 for violence against particularly young black women. So, I don't know what's going on here with us. We're hoping to change that trajectory. So, how many of you guys have seen violence going on like at school? Yeah, at school. Y'all seen that? Okay, he said he's seen some. He's seen some. She saw some. Okay. That's not nothing that's new. That's not nothing that's a central problem. I guarantee you, every school is dealing with, and by violence, it could just be fighting. It could be verbal violence, stuff like that. Same thing was going on back in my day in my schools and stuff like that. But nowadays, y'all have y'all have something that y'all deal with in schools that we didn't deal with. Can anybody guess what that is?
Social media.
Well, yeah, social media, that's one. Well, you say gangbanging. Gangbanging been around since, I can't even describe it. I mean, long ago.
I predicted
What else? It's something that's big that happens, not that in schools nowadays, that y'all have to practice in case it happens.
Oh, school shootings.
School shootings.
Never
We didn't have that when I was in school, believe it or not. We may have like a little random act of violence outside of school, but we didn't have to worry about that type of violence. So violence has definitely increased over the generations. They say by the time that you're 12, you've seen 100,000 violent acts on TV. Do y'all believe that?
No, I've seen more.
You seen more? You might have just seen that like in 1 month.
More like in a day.
So yeah, we see a lot of violence on TV. And what happens when you see that much violence? If you've seen 100,000 violent acts, what happens when you see that much violence?
You want to be violent.
You want to be violent? Okay. Tend to not care. Yes, absolutely. You tend to not care because it makes you what? Lisa, y'all know let him answer all the questions. Thank you, sir.
I don't know the answer to it.
It makes you desensitized. It makes you numb to it. It makes it seem like that's normal to see that kind of violence. Some people in this room have probably seen some things that a human being should never see. So, and not just on TV, I'm talking about in real life. But when you see images like that on TV over and over and over again, it makes you feel like, well, that's just normal. It's not normal to watch somebody dying. It's not normal to watch somebody get gunned down or to watch a fight video where somebody gets jumped and they beat unconscious. That's not normal human behavior to feel like that's okay. Because there is a such thing called empathy that you tend to lose when you watch so many violent TV shows. So let me ask y'all this. Not just TV shows, because we're going to get into other stuff. How many of y'all watch violent TV shows? Just be honest. Okay. Me too. So name some of the stuff y'all watch. Was Boondocks violent?
Yeah.
Okay, I know they cussed a lot. I don't remember. They might have been violent. Anything else?
Family Guy? I mean, I don't
Family
know.
Guy? I've never watched Family Guy. That's violent?
That's tough.
Okay, what else? Okay, I never watched that one.
You listen now.
Oh, I guess I didn't watch all that. What about, did y'all watch Squid Games?
Yeah.
Y'all wasn't gonna bring that up?
It was trash. I ain't like it.
You didn't like it? That was probably one of the most violent shows that I probably ever watched.
Ooh, the dude Jeffrey show.
Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah, who watched that? Raise your hand if you watched Jeffrey Dahmer. See?
I finished it.
That's not normal to watch a serial killer cutting people up.
It was a good movie though. A good show.
Yes, and that's not normal to watch that and to feel like, I'm sure y'all didn't feel like it was okay.
Nah, it was messed up, but it was a good show.
Did anybody feel any kind of way when they watched it? Like, okay. Right.
Disgusted? I wasn't disgusted.
It was difficult to watch. It was gruesome to me,
No, it
and I grew
wasn't.
up in the era that Jeffrey Dahmer was out here.
That was a really good show.
So that just goes to show you some of the things that we have out there in the world, some of the dangerous people that are out there in the world, which is why it's important to make good choices and know who you're around, not even on social media, because some of y'all might have linked up with somebody the same way that people linked up with Jeffrey Dahmer, except y'all got the internet, so you may meet online, and you go and meet up with somebody like that, and you never know what type of person that may be. So, how many of you guys play violent video games? And we got some few honest people in the room.
I'm saying, GTA.
GTA. Did he say Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, this is.
Thank you, because I need that, because I be getting confused with GTA.
This the same thing.
I know, but I need the word said so I know what it is. Because I don't know.
What, Call of Duty?
Call of Duty. So, what do y'all do on Call of Duty?
It's basically a big war zone.
It's a big war zone. That sounds real fun.
It is fun when you're good at it.
What about GTA? Grand Theft Auto, what are y'all doing there?
We be getting blown up. They be blowing us up out of nowhere.
So, did anybody play any games that's like positive?
Fall Guys.
What do y'all play that's positive?
2K.
I
Madden.
want to hear this man over here. Football, okay.
Yeah, Madden.
Madden, okay. And yet my kids played those games. I didn't. I played Super Mario Brothers, stuff like that. Yeah. I played Centipede and stuff like that, Pac-Man.
Waka Waka.
But I was never really a big gamer, anyway. So what about, are you laughing because I say Pac-Man?
No, dude, snorted like a pig.
He said something. He said that's not. It's not. Man, say it again, bro.
You said that's not a video game?
No, he said Super Mario Brothers ain't friendly and throwing turtle shells at people.
I never got to that level. I don't know what happens when you get to the higher levels.
You be chunking them.
But I do know you're trying to save the princess, but I never got to that level. Let's see. Okay, how many of you guys? And you gotta be honest. How many of you listen to violent music?
Who doesn't?
Okay. There's some people that don't. This man right here, he don't. Okay. Who are some of the people y'all listen to?
NBA Youngboy.
NBA Youngboy. And he in jail right now?
Yeah. No.
No, he on house arrest.
Yeah, he on house arrest.
Okay, that's better. King Von. Who said King Von right there? Where's King Von at right now?
He dead.
He dead. Okay.
And we not gonna do that.
Yes, we are.
We're not doing that.
We're gonna talk about it.
No. Not doing that.
Who else?
Dirt. What Dirt?
Sugar Hill Kid.
Who the fuck?
I don't know them. Chicago? New York. Are you from New York or something? Okay. You like New York music. I like New York music too. Anybody else? Somebody said Lil Durk.
I'm gonna see.
Who else? Tupac. Where's Tupac?
Loaded.
Lil Loaded?
Yeah.
I don't know Lil Loaded. I do know 50. At least 50 is prospering a little bit. Boosie. What happened to Boosie?
He's still alive.
I didn't say he was dead. I said what happened?
Nothing. He's still alive.
Boosie wasn't he in jail and then
No.
he got shot?
No.
He got shot.
That was a while ago.
Yes. Boosie went to jail. Faced a murder charge, I believe.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Got shot.
INW Melly.
Nelly?
Yeah.
You listen to Nelly.
Man, he said, why ain't going
Nelly don't even make music right now. But, okay. So, the point is, the reason why I know most of the people that y'all name, not all of them, is because I listen to them too. I listen to King Von too. I listen to a little bit of NBA Youngboy. I did listen to Pac and Biggie. One of the reasons why I was pointing out what happened to them is because I wanted to ask you guys if you think that the music they made had any connection to the way that they died.
Yes.
Yeah.
You say yes?
Totally.
No. Huh?
Well, Vaughn, yeah.
So beefing on
Vaughn died trying to.
Who? I don't know them. They're the right guy. Look them up.
Y'all know PMB JB?
Say the name one more time.
PMB JB.
MB.
PMB JB.
Oh, he just died in LA, right?
No.
Is that him?
No, that's PNB. That's
PNB
Rock.
Okay.
How you get?
That's too many different letters. I can't keep up. But the point is, okay, so you say yes, you think that there's a connection between what they made.
With Vine, especially.
What about with Tupac?
Yeah, true.
What about with Biggie?
I don't know. I don't know about
Who else did we
Biggie.
name that guy? What about Mo 3?
Oh yeah, Mo 3 got shot on the highway.
Was it a connection?
Man got sniped on the highway.
Okay.
That's mean.
We're gonna leave Michael Jackson out of this.
Nice little boy.
Okay, so I mean, if you listen to Michael Jackson, which I do, but so if we think that the music that they made affected them, do you think that the music that they made affects us?
No.
Yes.
You say no. Why you say no? It ain't no wrong answers, just so y'all know. No, we ain't. I'm not. Okay. I'm not even gonna tell that lie. So you say no because it's just music?
Yeah.
Did you say no? Okay, because it's just music? Is that your reason? Oh, okay. You say yeah. I bet you if you pull your phone out right now and I look at a playlist.
Go ahead.
Let me see. Britney Spears. Who we gonna see on his playlist?
I bet you know Youngboy on that for sure.
And honestly, the reason why I know so much of the music that y'all listen to is because I got sons, and they listen to, they're older than y'all now, but they're the ones that would play the music, so I would listen to it. And of course, I would play them music that came from my era, and they would listen to it. It's the same thing. So, what I personally feel like, I do feel like the music has an impact on us. We know that certain music makes us feel good, makes us feel inspired, and it can do the same thing, especially if you're already kind of feeling a certain kind of way. It might influence that. So the same kind of way that violence desensitizes us, so can the music that we listen to, so can the video games that we play, and so can the TV shows that we watch. So, let me see what time it is.
9:31.
10 minutes, okay. In the last 10 minutes, I want to ask y'all a couple more questions. Where do I want to start? Okay, at what age in Arkansas first of all, what age are y'all? What grade are y'all?
I'm a freshman.
9th graders right here.
I'm a freshman.
9th graders. Okay, 10th graders right here. 11th graders. Okay. Now the OGs. 12th graders. What you got? She's kept her hand up though since the 11th grade. Okay. I think we got one. Are you really 11th, 12th grader? No, we in 12th. Y'all in 12th. Okay. I don't know if that's true. That's true? Oh, okay. Ain't no 12th graders in here? All right. Don't rush it. You're going to be a senior in a minute. Okay, so that means everybody here is at least what? 15, 16?
15.
16. Okay. I forgot because it was a long time ago since I was in the 9th, 10th, 11th grade. So, at what age in Arkansas could you be convicted of a crime and charged as an adult because you do something that is...
16.
I'm not finished. Because you do something that's so bad. You say 16?
12.
18, what'd you say?
12. Can I charge you an adult?
21. So, 18, anybody got any other, any other guess? Okay, everybody was wrong. At 18, yes, absolutely. Nationwide, you can be charged as an adult. We all know that. 18 is that age. Once you turn 18, you go into adult jail, period. In the state of Arkansas, you can do something that's bad enough that at 14, you could be charged as an adult. Which means everybody in this room could go to jail now as an adult, which means you may or may not go to juvenile, but even if you do go to juvenile, you're gonna get transferred over to the adult jail. Which means that you're gonna go to an adult penitentiary. So you're gonna be in a room full of real gangsters, predators, grown people, and what do you think they would look at us as? I'm including myself because I know that I don't want to be in a penitentiary.
Fresh meat.
Yes, pray. You would be, they're not gonna protect you, they're not going to have empathy for you and say, oh, they're just a little child. They're gonna look at you like you are the most vulnerable person in the penitentiary. So, and there have been people in this state that I have seen that have to do. Only got 10 minutes. I got a whole bunch of questions, but I'm gonna give y'all the most important ones. So let's say you ride with someone and you guys go and y'all go rob a store, but you don't got the gun, they got the gun. Or let's just say you rob somebody on the street, they got the gun, all you do is go in the person's pockets and y'all both get caught. Well, the person that has the gun shoots the person that y'all are robbing. But you never had the gun, you didn't pull any kind of trigger. What are you gonna be charged with?
I forgot the name of it, but like
you say accessory.
Accessory to murder. No.
Association.
Associated with a murder case, something like that.
Second degree murder.
Who said that? She's right.
Second degree.
You're gonna be charged with murder because you're in the act of a felony. And I see a lot of young people get caught up on that law also because you don't know that. That if you're in the act of a felony, it doesn't matter if you kill the person. You could be jumping somebody at school and all you do is kick the person, but that person dies. They're not gonna care who actually made the person die. All of you guys are gonna be brought to court on those charges. And especially if you're doing something like a robbery, which is a felony. So, okay, last question. So let's say that, same robbery, you robbing this guy, your friend has a gun, you go in the pockets and stuff, and the guy pulls out a gun, or takes the gun from your friend and kills your friend. What are you gonna be charged with?
Robbery.
Murder. Same scenario. Now you gotta warn your friend, and you get to go to jail for murder.
That's messed up.
So, knowledge is power. Understanding those things makes you make better choices, being around people that are gonna make good choices. I know someone that went to this school right around the time that my son graduated, which would have been 2014, and he's still in jail for doing something similar. So, I look at how long ago was 2014? We can do the math real quick.
That was
2014 right now.
8 years ago.
8 years ago, he was fresh out of high school, didn't know what he wanted to do with his life, and did something horrible. And he's still there, and unfortunately, he's gonna be there until my sons are probably my age. So, how old are my sons?
You.
Oh, me, I'm 46. So that means that, and yeah, I'm probably saying that because that's a blessing to get to that age, and hopefully everybody in this room gets to that age. And beyond, because that's still young. But yeah, so making choices today that's not going to affect your tomorrow. If I would have done something like that when I was that young, not only would I be in jail and miss graduation and prom and marriage and college and all that stuff, but my two sons that I just talked about, they wouldn't be here either because they were born in that time frame. So think about those things when y'all make choices. I'm gonna let Eric come up because he's gonna give y'all something that probably will be really, really interesting to y'all is some videos of people not making the best choices. Yes.
Hey, let's put our laptops away. You don't need laptops right now. Go ahead and put your phones back away. We already asked you to do that. All right, we only got less than an hour left, so let's focus in on what they have to say, please. Please put your phones away. Put your laptops away. Laptops.
All right, we have one thing left, and I told you all back on Monday that today would be the day very last speaker would really get your attention. His name is Mr. Marsh. He is a retired paramedic from the ambulance service, and he also worked for the Little Rock Fire Department. And usually I try to show a DVD with you all, but I didn't have time this week, and he's on the beginning of our DVD. But he makes a statement on that in over 70 years of combined work experience with both the ambulance service and the Little Rock Fire Department, he was constantly responding to emergency incidents around town, and he never unbuckled a dead person and over 70 years worth of work experience. Wearing your seatbelt is the most protective thing that you can do in your automobile. Trust me, that's on the test that you will have next week. So you need to keep that in mind. All right, now we'll turn it over to him, and he's got the rest of the period.
Morning.
Morning.
They want it because they want it recorded.
American.
Oh, you're recording? I'm sorry, I need your audio. Probably hear it without
American.
Okay, you're up. All right. So, let me get out of the way. You don't have a click. Oh, yeah, I do. It fell on the floor. Oh, got it.
Go for like that.
All right, good morning. My name is Eric Marsh. I don't need a microphone. I've been in the military. I'm not talk loud. I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to show you some graphic slides. All right? And I know you signed a document, your parents did, for you to be in this presentation. So I'm just reminding you the reason you signed that, because we don't want any issues with anybody. I'm not here to upset you. I'm not here to make you be traumatized, but I'm here for reality. The real world, the real things that happen to teenagers, and there's lots of bad things that happen to teenagers. Some of you are aware of it, some of you are not. Motor vehicle accidents is one of the leading causes of deaths. However, what do you think is passing it?
Suicide.
Huh? Gun violence? Close.
Suicide.
Drug abuse. Drug abuse. It's coming at an alarming rate how fast drug abuse is taking over young people. And these people, like you said, they will give you the drugs for free. Why?
Just get rid of it.
Get rid of it? No.
So you get hooked.
Huh?
So you get hooked.
Say it louder, young lady. Come on.
So you get hooked.
Hey, let me tell you something. If it's the right thing, never be afraid to say it. All right? There's nothing wrong with saying something right. Just because somebody doesn't accept it doesn't make it wrong. So tell them real loud for me one more time. Come on.
So you get hooked on the drug.
So you get hooked on the drugs. You're absolutely right. So we're going to get into traffic, motor vehicle accidents too as well. And again, it's graphic. I try to warn you if I can. If I can't, if I miss it, I'm sorry about that. Didn't do it on purpose. What you do to it, you tore it up. Gordon. What did you do to it? You tore it up.
Is it on?
It's on.
Hey, also, while they're getting that set up, if, as he mentioned, there will be some graphic